We've been working on this for over a decade now together. So we do this in a lot of different parts of the country, but this is really what I would call the epicenter of where the true road salt reduction model started. We've been really the big stone that created this huge ripple.
We use a lot of salt. York State is one of the largest users of road salt in the country. It's clearly resulted in regional contamination of both our surface and our groundwater resources. We've clearly made the connection at the regional scale that is the state maintenance of state roads that are the main source of salinization across the Adirondacks.
The culture of innovation that started to inspire now, we're picking up speed on that. It's sort of like a slow move when you first try to adopt these things and understand it, and then I think the success that we're starting to see now is we're picking up momentum on that. 50% reduction is like shooting fish in a barrel now. We see 50% all day long, right? And so it's just a matter of how do we get past that early adopter stage, and so that's where I think our opportunity is.
We've reduced our salt applications by over 50% in the village by first starting with treated salt and then going to brine. Our roads are just as safe, and I believe we're a model for the country and for North America.
Showing you the chloride levels starting in 2016 and the accumulation of salt, the high chloride at the bottom of the lake, which actually is preventing the turnover. So the lake didn't turn over in 2017, 18, 19, and in 2021.
You know, you all have come together here as change agents in the work that you're doing. This road salt reduction program, other projects you're doing to protect Lake George and other communities that you're from, and to preserve these critical community assets. And it requires change makers like you and remembering why you do it and inspiring yourself to keep moving forward.
This is not a political issue in my mind. This is about safety all the way around, whether it's health. You know, we have to have medicine, we have to have fire, ambulance protection, all that stuff. We have to do business. Business world still goes on. We can find solutions. The task force, we can get there. It's just, we've got to be allowed to do it.
It has to be policy-based. It has to be culturally based, slow down, issues like that, expectations, work of Adirondack Action, LGA, others. But it also has to break down silos, and in doing so, finding pathways for solutions, whether on a statewide level or on a local level.
Because of this program and this base model and how it works, we had 5 states, 7 other counties, and 4 communities that were willing to work with us that are up here on the panel today. So with this model, we're hoping to break it down so everybody understands it in a basic and simple way. It takes away the second guess from the alternative driver who doesn't want to switch and try to make a change.
The more material we can remove from the roadway, the less material we need to put on the roadway.
Once the drivers understand how much they've been wasting, and they're still getting the same effect through all the technology and understanding the science behind what they're doing and just keeping it simple.
10 years ago when we started working on this, we got kicked out of a lot of shops for a couple of years, right? And so I believe now, like these kind of pictures, we didn't have before. And a lot of these pictures we're going to shops, the shops are inviting in other towns and villages that neighbor them, and it's that kind of community that I think is going to help us scale this.
I am sort of a collector of really good salt reduction examples around the country. Somehow, you bottled something really interesting here that I don't know of another place on the planet that's happening quite like this, in which you've gotten your municipalities and your businesses and your environmental group, and you have tourists and you have everybody else that is sort of rowing in the same direction. And I want to make sure that you keep that going because it's really amazing. And I will also point out that it is now incumbent upon you to share this with the world.